Welcome to Finma University of Iloilo. Welcome to College of Education. I am Sir Rafa, your learning facilitator for this course.
Hi, welcome to General English. This part of your course will develop your testing skills, especially on how you answer multiple choice type of test. Now, in this course, we will be answering 150 item tests which are all about the different parts of speech, grammar, reading comprehension, and literature. Before we proceed, let me first share to you 4 different tips on how you answer easily and effectively a multiple choice item. Now we will be using an acronym CARL. C for comprehend, A for anticipate, R for remove, and L for leverage. First thing to do is to comprehend. When you comprehend, you understand the question or the step. Second is to anticipate. When you anticipate, try to answer the item without looking at the options. You can cover the options for you not to get distracted of the rules governed in a particular item. Number 3 is remove. Remove the items, or I mean the options, which are irrelevant to the question. So for example, there are 4 options. You can easily identify between 2. And lastly, we can have the leverage. Leverage means you need to weigh. Among the 2 options, which one is better? A or B, or C or D? Let's start with item number 1. That establishment has been here blank. A. After 1993. B. In 1993. C. For 1993. And D. Since 1993. If we are going to look at the stem, what we are looking here is a time. Therefore, the answer is letter D. We are talking here about preposition since, and it is used to situate an event in relation to a moment in time. Example, yesterday. Since when? Since 1993. But for is used to relate an event or period or time or a particular duration. For example, for 5 days, for 10 days. And since functions here as time modifier in the sentence. Therefore, our answer here is that establishment has been here since 1993. Number 2. She didn't know whether to sell her books or blank. A. To keep them for reference. B. If she should keep them for reference. C. Keeping them for reference. D. Kept for reference. Perfect. The correct answer is letter A. And take note what's the rule. We have here rule of parallelism, meaning to say our phrases or clauses should be balanced. Now what we're looking here is a preposition that is parallel to sell her books. And looking into the option, there is only one option that is parallel to sell her books. And definitely, that is option letter A, to keep them for reference. Therefore, our answer here is she did not know whether to sell her books or to keep them for reference. Number 3. You blank your license before it expires. A. Had better to get. B. Had better get. C. Had to get better. Or D. Had better got. And what's the rule? The correct answer is letter B. And the rule is use the verb phrase had better if you wish to express a piece of advice. So you are giving an advice that before your license will expire, you had better get your license. Therefore, the correct answer is letter B. You had better get your license before it expires. Number 4. Upon returning from the conference room, blank. A. He found a letter on his table. B. A letter was on his table. C. A letter was found on his table. D. The table had a letter on it. Now let's try to look at a grammatical rule that governs this sentence. And as we can see, we have a rule on how to use the introductory modifier or verbal modifier. And it says here, the introductory verbal modifier should immediately precede the noun which it modifies. And avoid using a noun immediately after the introductory verbal phrase which may not be logical modified by the phrase. Neither should a passive construction be used after such a phrase. Now, let's go back again to the statement. Upon returning from the conference room is our introductory verbal modifier, and it should follow the word that it modifies. And the correct answer here is letter A because he is the one being modified by your introductory verbal modifier. So if we're going to read the sentence, upon returning from the conference room, blank, he found a letter on his table. Therefore, letter A is our correct answer. Number 5. Her physician suggested that she blank a short leave of absence. A. Take. B. Took. C. Will take. Or D. Would take. Let's try to look at the key terms. The physician suggested. That means that the physician is giving a piece of advice. And what's the rule in giving an advice? It says here, advisability means something is important, necessary, and advisable for someone to do it. Thus, ought to, should, would, had better, must have to are used to express advisability. Therefore, our answer here is letter D. Her physician suggested that she would take a short leave of absence. So if we're going to look at option letter A, B, and C, they are not included in the list of words that is being used or being used in terms of expressing advisability. Therefore, the best answer here is letter D. Number 6. I wish that you blank such a bad headache because I am sure that you would have enjoyed the play. A. Hadn't. B. Didn't have had. C. Hadn't had. D. Haven't had. As you can see on the question, we have the word wish. And what's the rule in using wish in the sentence? It says here, if the verb wish is in present tense, therefore our reference must be in past tense. So simple formula is present, which is wish, and past tense, which is our reference. Now, I wish that you, the correct answer is letter A, hadn't such a bad headache because I am sure that you would have enjoyed the play. So wish is present and hadn't is in past tense. Number 7. Let's stop by a fast food on our way home. Blank. A. Won't we? B. Didn't we? C. Don't we? D. Shall we? Now, this is an example of what we call a tag question. And take note, the correct answer here is letter D. And why letter D? Take note that a tag question is composed of a affirmative sentence plus a negative tag. Or the other way around, it's either a negative sentence or positive tag. Now, it's better to identify first either the sentence is positive or negative. Let's stop by a fast food on our way home. Is this a positive or a negative sentence? Therefore, this is a negative sentence, and a negative sentence must be followed by a positive tag. Now, let's try to look at the options. Which option is said to be positive? Perfect. So the only option here that is positive is option letter D. Therefore, letter D is the best answer. Let's stop by a fast food on our way home. Shall we? Number 8. Ellen didn't like our new roommate and blank. A. I don't too. B. Neither I did. C. Neither did I. D. I didn't also. The correct answer here is letter C. And take note of a negative agreement. So Ellen didn't like our new roommate, and therefore it must be followed by a negative agreement as well. So which among the options here state a negative agreement? So let's remove option A and option D. Therefore, we have options B and option C. But which one is correct? Neither I did or neither did I. Therefore, the correct answer is letter C. Neither did I. So Ellen didn't like our new roommate and neither did I. Number 9. It is usually blank lava that kills people during volcanic eruptions. A. Not only. B. Neither. C. Not. D. No. And what's the correct answer? Our correct answer here is letter C. And why not letter A, B, or D? Take note, in using not only, it must be accompanied by but also. If we are going to use neither, it is a correlative conjunction and must accompanied by nor. Therefore, the correct answer here is letter C. It is usually not lava that kills people during volcanic eruption. Number 10. A symbol of ancient competition, the Olympic flame burns blank throughout the game. A. In a continuous way. B. Continuous. C. Continuously. And D. Continual. And what's the answer? The answer here is letter C. Continuously. And take note, it refers to the adverbs of manner describing how something happens. If you're going to answer a question, how Olympic flame burns, therefore the answer is continuously.